everyone, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel and to week number 13 of Sandy's 13 Frights Before Halloween 2022. I can't believe that this is the final week and project. We've got 1 week till Halloween, and I wanted to create something. I've been thinking about this the whole time, the whole 13 weeks, and so here we are the last week. I'm going to try to make a Halloween junk journal. I've been wanting to make one. Now then, my thought process is I've already done some of the painting, like here on the cover. This is just a plain composition notebook, and I've already got a video clip showing what it looks like on the front and before I paint it, and then actually painting it where I added paper to it. I have a vision of what I want, and it may be more complicated than I think, and I don't think I'm going to get it done today in this one video. So my thoughts are I will work on this throughout the week leading up to Halloween. So my 13th fright is going to be the last week for the whole week. And I will see if I can keep the video clips kind of short. Some of it will be speeded up, some of it will be real time. We'll just see. We'll see what comes out. Working on junk journals, if you've ever done one, is a process, and you just pull out all the stuff you got, junk, envelopes, folders, papers, and you just create. So that's what I'm hoping to do for this last week, is create something fun. It's not necessarily something that you can follow along and create too, but I hope that it will inspire you. And if you've never done a junk journal and you want to do one, this is something you might jump in and do. This is a little different. I'm starting with a regular notebook that's already put together. Some of these pages probably will be taken out. Here I have like glued 3 together to give it a real, make it real thick, like this one is glued together right here, to make it real thick so that you can paint and spray and glue things on and stamp. And then this one I painted with some really pretty color shift folk art paint, and it is called Black Flash. It's black and it's got that gold in it. I really think that's pretty for my first page, and I'm going to use pattern paper. I'm going to build up on this and just get inky and messy and see what we come up with. So come along for the ride. It may get a little bumpy, hairy, scary. It's all Halloween, so stay tuned. Okay, so here is the beginnings of this junk journal. I have some things here off to the side. This is just a plain composition book that I picked up probably at Walmart for, I think, around $1, maybe $2 at the most. So this is what I'm going to make the base of. So I'm going to take this, and I've already done some pre-prep work. I've already glued some of the pages together. About 2, well, actually 3 to 4 pages together. I just take glue and glue them all together. And so I've already let some of those dry inside. And then I'm going to start painting here on the outside of my cover. But because I want the texture to be kind of rough, wrinkly looking, I have taken some of the pages out of the notebook here, and I've crumpled them up, and I'm going to glue these onto the front and back cover before I do any painting. So I'm just checking the fit here. It should be off a little bit on the edges, and I may have to piece some of it together. So I'm just going to take my silicone brush, and see here I'm just crinkling it even more to really get some texture in there. And I'm going to put glue over the entire cover piece here. And then I'm going to glue these papers down and let them dry. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video while I do this process.
While the glued on papers on the covers dry, the wrinkled up papers on the front and the back dry, I decided to tear a piece of pattern paper from my stash for the spine area of the album, and I'm inking the edges. Now I'm not going to put this on until later, and you'll see it later on. I'm going to just get it prepped and set it aside and get it ready to go. Uh, and then the next thing I'll do is, after the glue dries on my covers, is paint those with black or kind of like a dark gray paint. As I said earlier, I have glued some of the papers on the inside. There's 3 here on the front that are glued together. And so for the very front one, first set, I'm going to go ahead, because my cover is still a little tacky, I'm going to go ahead and paint this with the, it's called Color Shift by Folk Art in the black flash. It's got the black with kind of a gold in it, and I'm using my silicone brush. I'm just going to paint this whole front page and then let it dry too. Now I'm using, after I cleaned it off, the silicone brush. I'm using it to paint the front cover, and then I'll also paint the back cover. And this is a kind of a dark gray color that I'm using here on the front and back cover, and I'm painting over that paper that I wrinkled up and glued down to kind of give it a different looking texture.
Now that I have the covers painted on the front and the back, after gluing, I tore out some of these pages, sprinkled it up, glued them back on the front to give it this wrinkledy look, and it's a dull black. Added a little bit of shimmer here, cut the spine, cover the spine is still the black here. So my thoughts are is I want to build up on the front first. I want to make like a junk journal on a junk journal. Does that make sense? So this is some authentic paper that I had that I thought was nice and spooky looking. I cut it down to the height of the book, which is 9 3/4, and then cut it in half, which is 6 6. So I just folded. I don't care if it's uneven. I just folded. I didn't score it with a score board or anything. The hinge here, and I think I'm gonna glue it like this on the front, and then I'm going to build up some pockets and things. So let's see what we can do. I've got my glass mat here, and this is some Villainous Purple Potion. I got speckled egg, and I got walnut stain. So I'm going to see, I haven't opened these yet, have I? Don't think. I'm going to open these up, and then I'm going to see about maybe just spritzing some splotches on here. I don't know. We're going to see what happens. Okay, so I got it opened, and what I did is I just spritzed some. Done this. I'm going to let this dry. I just want this blotchy looking, like messy, spooky look in the brown. Just a little spritz here and there. If I had some red, that would be great. I may have to go shopping. Isn't that terrible to have to go shopping? So I've got some purple. I don't know if purple would work or not. Let's see. That would look. We just do one spritz of it and see. I don't want to mess everything up. So in junk journaling, you're not supposed to mess everything up. It is supposed to be messy, so it doesn't matter. that much, but I might not like it that well, right? It's just really dark looking. That's good. Kind of a blackish looking. That gave me more purple. There we go. So I'm going to leave it like that. That's too perfect right there. Ooh, it's too much. Okay. But you know, a lot of this will be covered up anyway. So yeah, we're just going to leave it like that for right now. These are going to be glued on to this cover right here on the left and the right. So while these are drying, I'm going to take some of this and play with it. I've got an envelope here that I really want to convert, kind of. I've got some black ink here, and I'm just going to start rubbing some black on it, stressing it out. Now in this project, I'm not going to do a lot of tea dyeing or coffee dyeing because I don't feel like I have enough time to do it and let it dry. So I'm going to do what I call faux staining and stuff like that. See how I'm picking up some of that color that I've already sprayed on my glass mat? And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I just want to kind of spook everything up. I don't want it pristine and clean looking. I want to lean more towards the black. I don't know if I want that like that. So this flap, I'm going to flip it this way, I think. I'm going to make this a pocket somewhere, somehow. Put that on there, build it up. Now, a lot of stitching is really cool. Again, I don't have a lot of time for that, so I'm probably going to be doing some gluing and stuff. I'm just trying to decide how I'm going to trim this down. Take my scissors. I don't want that sticky part there. I'm just going to trim this off right here. Okay. And that's probably going to glue right there. And then I'm going to cut this edge off. When that glues down, that's going to make an opening here. A pocket. I'm going to take my glue. And again, I have no plans. I am just putting it together. I'm going to do a line of glue. This is where, if you wanted to go to your sewing machine, and you could stitch right there, stitch that together. Do that. It's dry. It's getting there. So I'm going to glue this right here. Glue this to this. That one. It's going to go like that. This is going to be covered up with something. Some more black on there. Okay. So there's that like that. So I'm going to go ahead. These are pretty dry. I'm going to go ahead and glue these on. So I put glue here on these it's about a ½ inch. Where I just eyeballed it and folded it. I'm going to glue that here to the right side of this front cover. Right here. I'm going to put it on the edge, and then I'm going to repunch those corners. it may have a little harder time sticking to where I painted that, but that's okay. I think I'm going to just keep burnishing it, and it should work out fine. A little bit of it sticks out over there, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to take my 1/2 inch chomper, and right here in the corner, I'm just going to repunch this corner here, just like that, because it is rounded on that notebook. Okay, there's that side. Open this up. I'm going to put this one over here. So I hope you've really enjoyed the 13 Frights, Sandy's 13 Frights before Halloween event. Been some really great projects. If you haven't been able to visit all of the channels, try to do so, to just take a quick look at everything and leave a comment for everyone, and then maybe save it. I think maybe you can save it on YouTube or put it into watch later or into a playlist, so you can always go back to it. There's been some really great projects. There's no way we've all had time to create all of those, because there's just not enough time in the day. But there's been some really great projects from all the channels that have joined me in this collaboration of the 13 Frights before Halloween, making a project every Monday or every week leading up to Halloween. So let's see, I'm going to put something over here underneath this. So I have this glassine bag, but fold that in half maybe. Mix a pocket, and I'm going to cut this along this edge right here. That opens it up. Put this here. I'm going to burnish that, and that will make a pocket right there, and then when that lifts up, it'll be a pocket maybe, hopefully. So let's get some glue. I'm just going to do it around the edge and the seam here. So if I decide that I need, make that a pocket too, I can. So right here, there, and right along there. And then this burnishes down, so that becomes like some kind of pocket. I've got water on me or something. Okay, so there's that, and there's that. I feel like I need some more layers, so I'm going to think. This is a little booklet that I made off camera for another project. I mean, I was using it to see how it looked. I need to junk it up some. It's kind of cute there. Maybe that's a possibility. So I'll see what I want to do. So I'm going to pause, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I have taken this long, skinny piece of gauze, taped it to the back because I'm going to be building up on this too. So I'm just leaving that taped right now. So this is going to be a tie closure here on the front. I added some brown vintage photo in on this, some on this. I've tattered this up. I used my knife. I just went along the edges and tattered it up, and inked it with the vintage photo. And I'm going to glue this right about here for now. And I did glue the edges of this top one together to make right up in here to close off that pocket. So make sure it's gluing in here this way. So I'll put my glue on.
Okay, so once I get this glued on, I'm going to stop for today and come back tomorrow with the second day for this 13th Fright. So see you then. Bye-bye.